Okay, God bless everybody and welcome to the W.I.N Show, our first ever show. And I'm your host, Gabriel Campos. And what we do here on the W.I.N Show is we interview regular individuals who are successful and make a great living, right? And aren't necessarily famous or well known, right? The reason why I'm doing this on this show is because we believe that these people provide a great wealth of information for our younger audience, right? You don't have to be an actor, a professional athlete, or a celebrity, right, to be famous or to do well in life, right? We know that there are people that have, or what some may call your average careers, right, but make a very good living. And the way they do it is that they have these secrets that they know to get ahead. And so we are going to figure out some of these secrets today. So today, for our first guest on the show, we have a very special guest to me, okay? This guest is a very close friend of mine since high school, right? Let me get this correct because his credentials is a lot. He is an author, a business strategist, an empowerment strategist, a doctorate in leadership. I want to introduce to everyone Dr. Celso Nolberto. Welcome to the show, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
God bless you.
It's a pleasure, man. Truly, it is a pleasure to be here with Gabriel, brother Minister Gabriel, right? We know each other from way back,
We do.
from high school days,
We do.
and to just see how far we have come. I was telling my wife the other day just how when Gabriel and we was in college, we had this basically ministry, and I would be walking around with like a piano, and he would be walking around with the piano. We'll be going from room to room wherever we'll be hosting the ministry, and just to see where the Lord has taken us and where we are on today. So truly, it is a pleasure and honor to be here with Brother Gabriel, and thank you for having me on the show, man.
I love it, man. I'm actually thankful that you wanted to come on the show and be my first guest. So I wouldn't have it no other way, my brother.
Thank you.
It looks like we're back at it after all these years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so here, I see you have a great few bunch of businesses that you run. So you have, and you can correct me, King Within Footwear, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a clothing apparel that represents Christ, right? You have Purpose to Function, where you help people become certified coaches, right? You do consulting there and mentorship too,
Yep.
I believe, right? You have Activate University, right? Where you help Christian entrepreneurs and business owners unlock the power that they have within.
Yes, sir.
And you are also a life coach where you offer consultation in all areas, right? And so, and while all of that, you were able to balance obtaining a doctorate degree, my brother. So, you are definitely a disciplined individual, right? You're somebody that is a go-getter. You're somebody that went out there and got it done. So I guess my first question to you is like, what drove you to get to where you are today? Was there something that impacted your life or that opened your eyes to say, okay, this is what I want to do with my life and this is where I want to accomplish and this is where I want to get to?
Well, first and foremost, that right there, it was definitely a mouthful, right? Even to hear the word doctor. By the grace of God, a couple of months back, I was able to obtain my honorary doctorate degree in Christian leadership. And truly, God knows, the struggle. God knows the sleepless nights. God knows what it took. Yeah, so did I see myself where I am today? Most definitely not. Honestly, when I was in that crossroad in college, right, I was taking up communication studies because I saw it something that I did well, coming up in the church, being, part of different ministry groups, etc., public speaking, preaching, etc. So I said, I do this. I feel like I do this fairly well. Why not hone those skills? Right. So I went into communication, but it came to a point where I'm like, God, you revealed to me, you showed me what I'm gonna be doing spiritually, where the church is
Right.
concerned, but how am I gonna be support myself, financially?
Right.
Um, some may say the secular, right? I have a different perspective of it now because I've learned that all things that we do unto the Lord is sacred, right? Whether it be our natural jobs, whether it be, you're cleaning, whether it be you're taking care of kids, your family. If we do it with a heart that's unto God, um, it's sacred.
Amen.
But I definitely didn't see myself doing what I'm doing. And there came a time where I was praying, and honestly, it was for about 3 years praying, like, Lord, what can I do to support myself financially? What can I
Yeah.
do, like, for work? And I got crickets. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But funny enough, looking in hindsight, I didn't realize how close it was. It was under my nose.
Yeah.
My mom, she's an entrepreneur. She's
Wow.
been an entrepreneur all my life, whether it be selling Mary Kay, whether it be, these different
Nice.
MLM, multi-level marketing
Yeah.
organizations. She's been rocking it. She's personable. She's been recruiting people and all of these things. And later on, I was able to hear how, like, my father was also a businessman, even starting back from Honduras. And
Oh
for those who
wow.
don't know, right, by the grace of God, I'm Honduran American, right? So,
Shout out to the Honduras.
and Garifuna. Can't miss
Yeah.
that. But my father, he used to sell ices. Everyone know him as dulzura in Spanish,
Oh
which is
wow.
like sweet, right, or sweetness.
Yeah.
And that was like a term of endearment. Besides that, he also had a photography company when he came to the States,
Hmm.
and will would shoot different parties and things like that. So I didn't see how this could correlate in my life. I'm like, all right, my
Yeah.
parents, they were into business, but I couldn't see that for myself. So basically, there was a youth ministry event, a youth event that happened, and Apostle Noel Santiago was present.
Yeah.
Some of you may know him, some of you may not. But basically, they was asking like, hey, is there an interpreter in the house? And he will always come with his interpreter, but he didn't come with his interpreter that day. And everyone said, hey, Junior. And for those who
Yeah.
don't know, right, family, those close to me, they call me Junior, because I'm a junior. And they said, Junior, he can interpret. I went up there, and just 2 minutes in, he began to prophesy and say,
Wow.
in a year's time, you're gonna be in business. He said, "Do you know what the mountain of business is?" I said, I didn't know what that is." He said, "Look it up." There's different points of view in regards to that, but I believe it was a blessing to my life. And I looked it up, and he says, God has given you the mountain of business. And in a
Wow.
year time, you'll be doing this and also in the educational field. So I believe the word of the Lord. I pursued what he said in that time span of a year. I opened up my business, my LLC, and honestly, just obedience.
Yeah.
If we're asking and we're at, in terms of what started me off on this journey, it would truly just be, and with all humbleness, obedience to the word of God,
Mm.
because that opened up opportunities for me.
Right.
What I'm currently doing in the Department of Education,
Nice.
and also in my business. So that started me off on the journey, and it's just been, pursuing the call of God and what God has called me to. So I
Nice.
have a calling in, um, you know,
Yeah.
in the church, whatever, the
Yes.
faith, but also in the marketplace.
Nice. That's beautiful, and thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Um, I wasn't even aware that your parents were, both in business as
Yes,
well,
sir.
and
Yes,
so
sir.
that sort of was like in your veins
Yes, sir.
since young. And now look at you, even now, having all these businesses under your belt.
By the
And
grace of
I
God.
guess that leads to my next question, right? If I'm a young person, right, and I want to start a business, right? What's the best approach to go about that? Like, what do I do if I know that I want to start a business in something? What are the steps that I need to take to get something started?
I'm a big proponent in focusing on your strengths. So I would say, what are your strengths? right? And begin to write them down.
Yeah.
Write it on paper. I believe it brings great clarity. So write down your strengths. Now, your strengths, some of you may say, man, I don't know what I'm good at. I don't know what my purpose is. I will ask, what are the things that people say you do exceptionally well, that you do different from everyone else, right? And begin to write that down. Now, there's several things, several tips and things that I could give in regards to what you're good at
Yeah.
and what could be a good business model for you. But honestly, I would say, anything connected to purpose, anything connected to passion, right? What is that thing that you would do even if you would do it free? Like if you had an opportunity to do it like for the rest of your life and you don't mind doing it for free, that's an area of passion. That's an area that can indicate, what your purpose is, right? Now, if you get paid for doing it, even
Yes.
better. But that thing that brings a fire in your life, a fire in your heart when you think about it, when you do it. And we don't just have to limit it also to practical things that we do. It can also be or skill sets that we learn at work, like being a secretary, etc. It can also be things like your hobbies,
Yeah.
right? Music, art. So yeah.
Nice.
So go towards your passion and what you like to do. But secondly, also see if there's profit in it. And if you feel that there's not profit in it, see how you can monetize or leverage your skill sets in order to make it a profit. In other words, create your own lane in that area.
That's beautiful.
It's a
Very well
mouthful,
said,
but
man. But it's true, right? As somebody going into even business, like or any type business and anything, right? You have to like it, and I think it goes hand in hand with those who even have careers,
yes.
right? I think you have to enjoy what you're doing because if not, you're gonna go to work every day regretting it, or your business, you're just not gonna be happy while you're working on it. You know what I mean? It has to be something you genuinely enjoy, and so I definitely agree with that. So I wanted to share with our audience here, if you guys can see. So this is one of your books that you wrote,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Back in 2018, right?
Like 2020 actually.
2020. Oh wow.
And it was actually during the time of the pandemic.
Oh wow. So the strength to fight, moving forward in difficult times.
Yes.
So I would like for you to tell me what inspired you to write this book that you wrote right here. And afterwards, if you can dive into a little bit of the process on what it takes to even writing a book, and how would someone who's interested in doing that go about it?
So that's big right there.
Yeah.
In terms of like the process, even the motivation, right, to get it done. I would say first and foremost, this book has been something that was brewing inside of me for some time. And due to life circumstances in life, I didn't have the time to sit down and get to work. So COVID, gave me that, and of course, we know that it's negative, but COVID gave me the opportunity.
Yeah.
I took it as an opportunity to actually, say, man, I have these notes, I have these things brewing in the inside of me. I had it just laying in my laptop somewhere. Let me actually sit down and get to work. But even with COVID, like
Man.
the factors that will motivate me to get it done, I had to really sit down and write down all of the pros and benefits of, what would the benefits look like and feel like to actually get my book done. So yeah, I zeroed in, I put in the time, but in regards to writing this book, honestly, by the grace of God, it was spirit led. My motivation and my heart was to really encourage individuals.
Right.
I saw it was a powerful time because COVID was a time where there was depression,
Right.
there was anxiety, there was just so much going on, and this book, as the title suggests, is called "Strength to Fight: Moving Forward in Difficult Times." Right? It's a 21-day devotional. So there's some scientific aspects to it because we know that it takes 21 days to do what?
Yes.
To build or form a habit,
Yeah.
right? Or to break a habit. So, it has those components in it. First and foremost, it was a team effort.
Yeah.
I found my editor, right, Damaris Canella, and her husband, Juan Carlos Canella, right, was a big proponent in it.
Nice.
They helped me to edit the book. She was like fresh out of grad school. So I was like, something, she would be perfect. And her husband joined the team. And they was just such a
Nice.
big blessing to me. One of the things, if I could just give a nugget, well, particularly for me, that I felt that was important in writing this book was making sure
Yeah.
that this book, it sounded like me. It had the essence of who I was. So even in the editing process, I wanted to make sure that it had my DNA, that it had my voice. So it definitely bothered my editors because it was like, wait, but what about this and this, and we gotta add this. But I'm like, wait. But I want to make sure that it sounds like me. We could dot the I's, cross the T's, do all the fixes, and make sure that the grammar's correct. But I want it to sound like me, and I think that's something that was important in the process of building the book. If you want to get more information in regards to just the process of writing this book, shameless plug, guys, listen. I have a consultation fee and service that you could just reach out, and I can help you with the process. Now, can I throw another extra nugget in it?
The podcast is yours, my friend. We want to hear all of this. All this information is useful, especially for the young people that are listening, that are going into this field, right? That want to be authors, that want to write their own books. I'm sure they're interested in this information, and I know I am, because I'm also interested in writing my own book in the future. So I want to hear it all, my brother. So you got the green light.
Awesome, and I'm glad he said that, because first, listen, I'm gonna remove the excuses for everyone.
Okay.
How so? It cost me absolutely nothing
Wow.
to write this book.
No.
So some of you may not know this, but everybody shops on Amazon.
Yes.
Everybody has made an order on Amazon. But do you know that Amazon has a completely free service even till today, the time that we're recording this 2024, completely free. And it's called, if you type it in the search engine on Google, right, you put Amazon KDP. I'm gonna repeat that.
Amazon KDP.
Yep. And KDP is for Kindle Direct Publishing. But you type in on the search engine Amazon KDP, it's going to take you to a completely new page that's from Amazon, and you get to open up a self-publishing account absolutely free, and they have videos to help you. Their customer service for KDP, for publishing your own book, is phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that just to say that. Like, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like calling them, asking like, how do I get the measurements right? And they are there, right?
Yeah.
So guys, listen, I want y'all to know I self-published. You could get a publisher, to help you to promote the book, etc. But I self-published on Amazon KDP.
Nice.
And not just for this is a 21-day devotional, but not just for devotional, children books are also available on Amazon KDP. Absolutely free service, guys. No one has any excuse. You could literally write your book now. And I didn't just do this through Amazon. I also wrote a productivity journal, and planner, right? A 6-month productivity journal and planner, 3 different colors, and all of that. I did that through Amazon KDP, and using Canva, another nugget, right? Completely free tool. Some of you may know what that design tool is. I use Canva to design the cover of this book.
Nice.
And if you see the cover, like, you would think that a professional, right? And I don't consider myself a professional in designing. You would think that a professional did this cover, right? All through Canva.com.
So that's great to know. And thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
And I also wanted to ask, I guess, my next question, what advice would you give to the youth in regards to considering advanced degrees? Do you think even college is still worth it today, because I know that's something that a lot of people
Yeah,
think about, right?
yes.
Like, is it worth going to college so that I can get a good paying career or a job to get me where I want to get to in life? What is your advice to those young people who are considering going to college or not?
Honestly, that's a big one because
Yeah,
it's definitely something that is spoken of a lot in our social media streets.
yeah,
So my take on it is, and I'm just grateful to the Lord, right?
yeah,
Once again, and I truly am humbled. I didn't imagine myself being where I am, or God doing what He did, and I truly
amen.
give all the glory and honor to God for
Yeah,
it. But what a lot of people may not know, and it's unconventional, but what a lot of people may not know is that I actually, in the beginning stages of like studying,
yeah,
even when we was in college and stuff like that, it was off and on.
yeah,
There was a lot of stressors. There was a
yeah,
lot of personal things going on
right,
with family, and being raised up in a single family household. I had to be there for mommy. You know what I'm saying? I
right,
had to support moms, and I had to work, and you know,
yeah,
it was a journey.
yeah,
So in regards to like encouraging the youth, listen, it's a blessing. I know there's a lot of talk in regards to school this, school that, or you shouldn't. There's no need for school, right? You have
a
all
lot
of
of talk
these,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah,
You have all of these like influencers,
yeah,
these social media gurus saying, you don't need school, that you're good,
all
you're
of them.
straight.
Yeah,
But it opens up opportunities for you, and not just that. Like I said, like so, my journey is unconventional,
hmm,
and what I mean by that is too, we have to, guys, we have to open up our horizons, right? So besides like regular school, there's also trade school.
hmm,
Um, some may say, education is not for everyone,
yeah,
but I always encourage to try it. Um, and not only that too, but some people may not be aware there are a lot of online
yeah,
virtual experiences and opportunities to study.
there is.
So I'm currently getting my master's in psychology and counseling with a focus in
Yes.
mental health. And it's all virtual. Right. So,
Wow.
like I said, my journey has been unconventional, but God just opened doors, and it's Christian based. So it has been a blessing, being able to hear
Right.
prayers, being able to hear somebody that can relate to you and experience,
Yeah.
similar things to you. It's just an even greater encouragement, and seeing that these institutions are
Definitely.
out there,
Hmm.
right? If anyone is interested in that, I'm also willing to share like these different resources. But God has
Tap
blessed
in.
me, huh?
No, I'm telling everybody, tap in, tap in.
Yeah, man. God has
Yeah.
blessed me with finding out these resources and information. So
Yeah. Yeah.
conventional school, like ordinary school probably wasn't the best fit for me at the time. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna say this too, and it was all a part of a learning experience. Sometimes we allow social standards,
Hmm.
right, to get the best of us, right?
We do.
Societal standards. So you gotta be here by this time.
Yeah.
You gotta be married by this time. You gotta be in a serious relationship, right, by
Yeah.
this age. You have to have your house by this, and all of that. Whether we want to believe it or not, well, personally for me, I'm gonna speak for myself, right? It
Yeah.
was like it created like a mental hindrance and barrier.
Hmm.
So while I'm in school, I'm like, no, 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 I gotta hurry, I gotta rush, I gotta rush. And I didn't understand at the time that um, first, everyone has different capacities,
Yeah.
right? And I believe this is important for the young people,
Oh, for sure.
right? Everyone has different capacities, and everyone is not in the same place in life. So I remember
Right.
seeing a mom, right, with like
Hmm.
4 children, like killing it, right, getting
Yeah.
straight A's.
Hmm.
And I'm comparing myself, and and that's that word comparison, right?
Comparisons.
I'm over here comparing myself to this, to this young lady, mom, 4 kids, and I'm like, is she able to kill it? She's doing 4 classes. She's doing 5 classes, and she's destroying it, right? But I'm like, but I didn't realize, number one, I don't have the same capacity that this individual had, and number two, listen, maybe if it was 2 years back, I would have been able to kill the game. But where I was in that moment, the stressors in my life, I wasn't able to handle it.
Wow.
So I had a mentor, and I think I'm segueing, right? Because I think, we shared a little bit about some of the things that made me ask, but mentors, right? There was a mentor I had at that time that I was sharing this with, like, just my concerns, like, oh, I'm not gonna finish on time. I'm not gonna finish on time. Like, like it's been like several years now. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And he told me, Celso, like, on your degree, it's not gonna show how long it took you to get it. It's not gonna show the years it took you to get it. What people want to see is that you got it. What people want to see is that you finished. And that's all that people see. And that brought comfort to me. That brought peace. And truly just put things into perspective. And in that time, I realized, and listen, I was out because I'm like headstrong individual. I was failing, taking 4 classes and failing on 4 of them.
Wow.
I didn't have the capacity for it, Gabriel. But what I did have the capacity for was taking at least 2 classes and getting hundreds on those 2. So, it brought me at peace, and I also think that's one of the important things of having a mentor.
Right.
Right? Because a mentor shows you, right, and shows you what you can't see, right, and brings out the best in you, and lets you, and also see the blind spots.
And I think my next thing is like, if you can share also, like, do you feel like you're where you want to be in life now? And if not, like, what would you say is your next goal that you want to reach and you want to accomplish?
So, if I am where I want to be now, in all honesty, I could say, first and foremost, I'm not where I want to be, but I thank God I'm not where I used to be, right? So I'm just giving myself some grace in the process, and in the middle.
Yeah. I like that response.
But yeah, so I'm not where I want to be, but I'm grateful that I'm not where I used to be. And with that, it's a process, it's growth, and understanding that I think is important and key. So currently, like, I'm working, but I also have my business, right?
Right.
And my goal is to be able to work my way out of a job, right? So that I could do my life work.
I hear you, man, and I'm working on the same boat.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean?
That's right.
And I think that's what we all should work towards, right? I think we need to break out from this young generation to see that, working your entire life, I think, until 60, 65, 67, right? To finally retire. Like, why you have to wait till 65 to retire, right? To enjoy life, right? And I don't think that should be life, right? I think it's definitely possible to do it before, and even sharing, like, with a lot of people, to even know, like, $100,000 is not a lot of money, as much as people think, like, oh, $100,000. If I had $100,000, I'd be here and I'll do this and I'll do that, right?
Yeah.
But as you get higher up on the scale, right, you start to realize, wow, like, $100,000 is not really a big thing. It's not really as much money as most people may seem, and it's possible.
Yes, sir.
It's possible. Like, people can make it. Like, people can do it. If you just keep the dedication, if you keep working hard and striving towards your goals and what you want to do in life, is possible. But I want to also ask, as you start a business, right, it's super important, right, to get that business registered, right, having an LLC.
Yes, sir.
And I think most people don't even know how to go about that process, right? How do I get an LLC? How do I get that started? How much does that cost me? If you can explain a little bit about that, like how does the process go in getting an LLC for your company, and how much would that cost people?
To open up an LLC, guys, $200.
Wow, that's pretty good.
$200, right? So you go to irs.gov, and you go through the steps in terms of opening an LLC. I would love to be able to, share all the information detailed. Actually, I have it here in my notes, but $200 to open up an LLC, right? We spend more on our shoes, definitely on our phones. Like, there's no phone now of quality of smartphone that you could get that's like 200. And if it's like $200, and it's like, yeah, like we're not trying to, nobody trying to, yeah, we don't give that to like our cousin somewhere. Anyway, let me not go there. But yeah, so it's inexpensive, man, and it's something truly that anyone could do. When I opened up an LLC, I did it on my own,
Nice.
and I think I just used YouTube. When I started off, I used YouTube.
Even opening up an LLC, like you don't need that much money. At least people
No.
that assume, right?
Uh-huh.
And some may think it's a membership or something like that to open up. It's a one-time payment.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. And here's gonna be a tough question for you. Are
Yes,
you ready
sir.
for this?
Go ahead.
All right. So, all right, Celso, you're 18 again.
Oh
Right.
Lord.
You're at $0. Okay, but you have all the wisdom you have today. What are you doing at 18 years old to get yourself winning? How do we win?
It's getting a mentor.
Nice.
100 straight up.
Invest
And
in
what?
yourself, people.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in yourself.
Yes, sir. And whatever industry you're in, see who's doing what you want to do. See who's where you want to be. See how you could connect. Whether it could start off with books, then with a course, maybe with a live event. And thinking about it, I've definitely invested thousands on live events, certification, trainings.
Thousands.
Yeah, thousands. To learn, the little that I've learned now. But getting a mentor, they help you to minimize the learning curve. They help you to like avoid the headaches of starting and all the uncertainty. They'll get you right on it quick, get you right on starting to make money and all of that.
All right, my brother, thank you
Sir.
so much for the wealth of wisdom that you shared on this podcast today. I know those that are listening got a handful of information that they can take with them and utilize, right? So that they can be successful and win.
Yes, sir.
So now if you can share with our audience your social media, your businesses, where they can find you, where they can follow you.
And before I do that, excuse me, I just want to say thank you, Gabriel. Truly, it's been an honor. It's been fun.
Yeah.
And I pray that the Lord may continue blessing, what you're doing. This ministry, I believe, is going to go a long way, and I believe many are going to be empowered, equipped, and just blessed.
Thank you.
Through this medium and this broadcast
I received
and podcast. Right. So, real quick, guys, you can follow me on Facebook, my personal Facebook, right? It's public, Celso Nolberto, just my name and last name. My Facebook is Celso Nolberto. My IG, my Instagram is Celso Nolberto Ministries. You can follow me there. If you want to follow my business page on IG, it's Purpose to Function _ LLC. Once again, that's Purpose to Function. That's all together _ LLC. My YouTube channel is Celso Nolberto Ministries. My TikTok, and TikTok, listen, has been live, has been fire. Nah, God is good. But my TikTok is Purpose to Function Store. Purpose to Function Store. Right?
And if you want to purchase his book, Strength to Fight, you can purchase this on Amazon, right? It's
Yes,
still
sir.
available on Amazon.
Yes, sir.
Go get yourselves a copy today. It's a great book. You won't be disappointed. God bless everybody. Thank you for coming and tuning in to our first show on Win, where we teach people how to win through wealth, independence, and nutrition. Tune in. We're going to have a lot of more wealth of information to share with you guys, a lot more guests that we're going to have on the show. and you guys are in for a treat. Trust me. Subscribe, like, share, comment, enjoy. God bless.
God bless.